You need to stop obsessing over perfect prompting. It's a complete waste of time if you don't understand how the AI actually thinks. Right now, when your AI prompt fails, it's because you're kind of just guessing. You give a prompt and in return, you receive a terrible response, yet you have no idea why, and you can't fix what you don't understand. To actually wield this tool for your business, you need to know the vocabulary of AI. So I'm going to break down the technical terms that took many of our clients from guessing to AI masters. Think of it like this. Traditional AI is a librarian. It can find you any book off the shelf. Generative AI is the author. It has read every book in the library and can now write you a brand new one in any style you want. But what is actually powering that author? That brings us to the term LLM, or large language model. This is a specific type of AI model that provides text-based chatbots such as ChatGPT, Claude and Gemini. And listen closely to this part, because this is the number one reason why people get frustrated with AI. You need to think of LLM as a super advanced autocomplete. That is it. It predicts the next word in a sentence based on probability. It doesn't know facts and it doesn't have a brain. When you type, the cat sat on the LLM isn't picturing a fluffy animal. It calculates that Matt is statistically the most likely word to come next. This is also why it can be dangerously confident when it's wrong. It prioritizes what sounds plausible over what is actually true. So where does it get these words from? It gets it from the training data. This is a massive library of books, websites, articles, YouTube videos, and conversations that the AI has read or watched to learn how to communicate. But it can be affected by its knowledge cutoff. The training data is a snapshot of the internet frozen in time. If the model was trained, say, up to late 2025, it literally doesn't know that 2026 exists. If you ask it about a massive global event that happened last week, it might try to guess, or it might hallucinate the answer. However, the latest models like ChatGPT and Gemini 3 have fixed these hallucinations, or some people call it lying. It's called grounding. They can access the live internet to pull fresh information in that isn't in their original training data. It means the AI is grounding its response in verifiable real-world sources instead of just its memory, its training data. So unless you're using a model with grounding, you must respect the limits of that training data. Either that, or you're just going to be asking and getting bad advice in return. So that's the technology stack, but understanding the stack doesn't matter if you don't know how to actually interact with it. Let's move on to phase 2, the interaction. This is where most people get it wrong. And this starts before you even type a single word. The first thing you need to do is select your model. This is a specific version or system you're interacting with. You'll see names like ChatGPT 4.0, 01 or Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Here's the thing that most people miss. These tools are often default you to the fast model like GPT 4.0 Mini. They do this because it's much cheaper for the company offering your favorite AI services such as ChatGPT, Gemini or Claude to run these smaller models. It saves them money. But for you, the trade-off isn't money. It's speed versus brain power. Fast models, they reply instantly, but the answers are often generic, surface level, or miss the nuance of your business. Reasoning models, also known as thinking models, take 10 to 30 seconds to think before they start replying back to you. As a business owner, always wait. Don't shave off those 10 seconds by using a fast model, because that time will almost immediately be lost when you have to rewrite its average work. Always switch from the default and select the smartest, most advanced model. You want accuracy, creativity, and depth, not just speed of response. Once you have picked the smart model, you need a prompt. This is simply the input you give to the AI. It can be a question, a command, or a paragraph of text. It sounds simple, but here's the golden rule of AI. Rubbish in, rubbish out. The quality of the output depends entirely on the quality of your prompt. If you ask a vague question, you get a vague answer. If you ask a boring question, you'll get a boring answer. This brings us to prompt engineering, the skill of crafting clear instructions. A lot of people think prompt engineering is about finding a magic cheat sheet or secret words. It's not. It's just clear, effective communication. And one of my tips I always tell my clients is do not type your prompt, always speak your prompt. You can get far more context across faster by talking to the AI instead of typing. That's why I use Whisperflow, a dictation tool that works anywhere you can put your cursor. Emails, Google Docs, messages. It handles grammar, formatting, and the intent based on how you speak. I've linked to a discounted 2-week trial in the description if you want to try it out. It's one of the few tools I've recommended that people actually do stick with. It's quite addictive once you've got using it. But even the best engineer runs into a wall if they don't understand the context window. Think of this as the AI's working or short-term memory. It refers to how much of the current conversation the AI can remember at one time. It's a strict limit, including every word you type, every document you upload, and every word the AI replies back to you with. If you exceed the window, the AI doesn't break. It just forgets and deletes the beginning of the conversation to make room for the end of the conversation. So if you're analysing a 50-page contract and the AI suddenly forgets about the clauses on page 1, it's because you pushed the old data out of the context window. Now, Gemini has the biggest context window out of all the AIs, reaching into the millions of tokens. So it's a great choice for larger documents. All of our clients use Gemini because it's included in their IT assistance and support package. And the good news is that if you're using Gemini, you're very unlikely to ever run out of context. Speaking of input, we're now in the era of multimodal AI. This means that the AI can understand and generate more than just one type of media. A multimodal AI can see images you upload, hear voice commands, and speak back to you. This is a massive productivity hack. Instead of typing out a description of a website layout, you could literally sketch it on the back of a napkin, take a photo, upload it, and ask the AI to code this. Instead of typing out an error message you see on your screen, you just take a screenshot and say, fix this. That is the power of multimodal AI. But all this magic costs something. In the AI world, we don't pay by the word, we pay by the token. This is how the AI counts text. AI doesn't see words like we do. It breaks them down into chunks called tokens. Here's the maths you need to know. Roughly about 1,000 tokens is around 750 words. This matters for two reasons. First, money. If you're using a paid API tools or enterprise versions, you're often billed by the token. Second, memory. The context window I just mentioned is measured in tokens. If a model has a limit of 8,000 tokens, that's all the room you have for your prompt and the AI's answer combined. If you waste tokens on fluff, you're wasting the AI's brain power. Now, before I give you the prompting formula that fixes all of this, we have to talk about the risks that can ruin your reputation if you're not careful. It's called an hallucination, where an AI confidently states a fact that is completely made up and false. Remember the autocomplete rule? Because the AI is predicting words, not accessing a database of absolute truth. It can sound very convincing, even when it's lying to your face. There have been real cases of lawyers using ChatGPT to write legal briefs, and the AI hallucinated court cases that never happened. The lawyers submitted them to the court and got themselves into massive trouble. If you're using AI for legal, medical, or factual work, you must always verify important facts. Don't just blindly copy and paste. The second risk is bias. Since AI learns from the internet, and we all know what the internet is like, it can absorb prejudices, stereotypes, and biases presented in human writing. For example, if you ask for a story about a CEO, the AI might overwhelmingly give you stories about men. If you ask for a nurse, it might assume it's a woman. A good AI user keeps a critical eye open for answers that may lean too heavily towards one cultural or political viewpoint. So you now know the core tech, you know the interaction, and you know the risks. But how do you actually use this to get better results right now? Let's look at the difference between a basic prompt and an engineered prompt. I want you to see the difference in quality. Here is the basic prompt. Plan a 3-day trip to Tokyo. We've all done this, and the result, the AI will give you a generic Wikipedia-style list of the most famous tourist traps. You get the Tokyo Tower, the big temples, the busy crossing. It's okay, but it looks like every other travel blog on the internet. It doesn't know you. Now let's look at scenario B, the engineered prompt. This is what we call the assistant style prompt. To get a great result, we need to include 4 ingredients: the role, the context, constraints, and format. Here's how that looks in practice. First, you have the role. Who is the AI? Well, let's tell it to act as an expert local travel guide who loves hidden gems and food. Second, we need to set the context. What is the background? So you give it information like, I'm going to Tokyo for 3 days. I have been there before, so I do want to skip the major tourist traps like the Tokyo Tower. I love spicy food, history, and quiet neighborhoods. Then third, you need to give it some constraints, like what are the rules? For example, keep the budget moderate, under £100 per day for food. Please include travel times and locations. Finally, you need to let it know the format. How do you want its response to look? Present this as a table broken down morning, afternoon, and evening. So what you get, the result is the AI will now completely ignore the tourist traps. It will hunt for specific restaurants that match your spicy food preference. It will calculate your budget, and it will format it in a clean table so you can read it easily. You went from a generic list to a personalized travel plan just by changing how you asked. And the beautiful thing is that you can now apply this formula to almost anything in your business. For example, if you're writing emails, set the role as act as a professional copywriter. For the context, maybe I need to apologize to a client for a late delivery. Add some constraints. Be polite, but don't sound desperate, and keep it under 150 words. And then the format, draft me 3 options that I can look at. For example, if you're hiring, you could do one like where it says act as a hiring manager. For the context, I'm interviewing a project manager. For my constraints, give me questions that test the conflict resolution of the candidate, and format, put it into bullet points for me. If you start using these terms and structure, you're no longer guessing. You won't get frustrated when the AI hallucinates because you know exactly what happened. You probably didn't give it enough context. You stop running out of space because you understand context windows. You become essentially a pilot and not a passenger when using AI. And now I've got an extra special bonus for you. Click the link below and you can download an exclusive Google prompting guide. This is the Google 101 prompting guide. It's usually only available to Google partners, but I'm allowed to share it with you. If you still have any questions on AI, put them in the comments and I'll reply. Now that you have the vocabulary you need to see this prompting formula in action on real business workflows, click on this video. It'll be somewhere on the screen where I break down exactly how to use Gemini 3.0 using these exact principles. I'll see you there.